Hello, it's Jang here with a look at the LEGO City 2016 Fire Engine set. Right off the bat, the price per part ratio on this set is definitely higher than the norm, so let's see if this actually has the value to make up for it. Let me very quickly get one thing out of the way. Per proper firefighting trade parlance, this is not a fire engine, it's an articulated ladder or tiller truck, more commonly known, but I don't think LEGO was trying to trick anybody. It's just how the name turned out. The cab on this thing is nice. It is nice and short. It's a 3-axle setup, so rather heavy duty, but I like the proportions on it overall. This window on the side is rather large, but I appreciate the stripes of white going through here. Also the yellow on the sides, a little bit of texturing. Like there's a nice level of detail here, even though it is basic city stuff. It looks nice. It looks presentable. The cab opens up and it's a crew cab kind of setup, so you're able to put 2 firefighters in there. Let me just briefly detach the trailer section of it. Your firefighters just sit, it's facing towards the front. It's easy to get them in there. You just have a steering wheel in the front, and there is a spot to put a coffee mug there. You could put an extra coffee mug in this position for the back seat as well. On the back of this cab, they've got looks like a large exhaust setup right there, I believe is what that's supposed to represent. And then on the sides, a couple of little chests, little container opening areas, and you can put your extra studs for your water stud shooters in there. And it just has a nice use of the 2x2 round tile with a hole in the middle to use as the 5th wheel. With everything hooked back up, you can see they made the decision to put the turntable over the rear axle versus the normal position, which usually would be right around the pivot point up towards the front. I think that was done because this doesn't have a bucket on it. It's just a pure ladder. And there's also no tiller cab at the back. Those small little cab section where a guy sits back there and drives, steers the rear wheels. Normally on these things. So if they had put the turntable up towards the front, then at the back it would have been just completely open like this. So I think they made a reasonable compromise there. It's less accurate, but looks a lot better this way. These are just traffic barriers that can be taken off the thing, so you can just put those on the ground for directing traffic. This does have a full set of 4 stands that can be brought down, and those have 2 joints, not just one, so you can bring that down nice and flat to the ground. It's a good thing. You can actually lift up the whole unit a little bit if you want to, but that starts to move it out. You'll see as I move this around, it slips out of its little 5th wheel connection spot pretty easily. That's a little bit of a negative there, not a big deal really. This is always a nice large container area to have. I just like the texturing on that small door openable window piece. And in here, just a little tray that can be used to hold some extra equipment, so you can put one of your breathing apparatus sets in there if you want to. 1 clip on the side for 1 minifigure accessory over here. In this case, they're just using a small fire extinguisher. 1 clip over here for another one. This is just a regular walkie-talkie. The main section, the main ladder setup itself, is pretty nice, pretty nicely done. It's a smart design, a good use of a small number of parts. This back here is good with 2 simulated hydraulic rams, which gives you some friction. And then all of this is extendable because they actually have a 3rd ladder section in the center there. So it's extendable, but not too much. It would have been nicer to see more extension. And also, this looks a little flimsy in the center. It's not any more flimsy than if it had been done differently, but there's just kind of a limitation to how far you can go with that. It's still quite far. It's just not as extended as you might expect for such a large truck, with such a large ladder section to begin with. Looking at it from the other side, there's 1 more clip up towards the front for another minifig accessory, just a circular saw right there. They do use stickers on the tops of these tiles on top to give it a little bit of diamond plating look, which is nice. It's a lot better than just leaving it as plain tiles. You can leave it as plain tiles if you want to, but I think these look nice and they're kind of metallic silver. And then you've got your hose reel over here with the newer style of ball end at the end of the string, and it's the little water minifig stud shooter. And that uses any of the little water studs that are stored up towards the front, can actually shoot them off so you can actually fire at fire. And that's able to reach the full extension of the ladder, so you can put a minifig right up at the end of it and you can hold on to the rail or just kind of be wedged into the space down below with the feet, and that works pretty well. The fire being fought in this set is just in this little corner of what's supposed to be an abandoned building that evidently is a fire hazard already. And there are 2 fire assemblies up there done in a slightly different way from the other sets in this line so far. These are built on inverted tiles, little 2x2 or 2x2 round inverted tiles. So the idea is that you would actually just bring your ladder right up and kind of aim your guy with this little water stud shooter, and then be able to shoot. Oh, I missed. Try that again. There we go. Actually shoot the fire out. And it requires just a little bit, just a tiny bit more aiming skill to be able to shoot through the window, because you have to imagine that there's more building off to the side. This thing is made with a minimal number of pieces to get a good amount of height on it, but it's a fine target, but it's kind of plain. 3 firefighter minifigs included in this set. All of them have the exact same legs. The 2 on the right have the same torso prints, and they just swap out different faces between them. And there are no alternate faces to be seen. Obviously, you can take off the breathing apparatus setup for those 2, store them away in the main storage compartment, and there's what that torso looks like from the back. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the largest single-wheeled fire apparatus piece that LEGO has ever released. Its size really is pretty impressive relative to others. Based on what I've now seen with its features and getting it in my hands and trying it out, I do still feel like the price is a little bit on the high side. I'd like to see this about 10 to 20% cheaper, but I believe that the price will come down a little bit. But even the full original retail price doesn't feel outrageous to me. I just wish it was a little bit lower. Another nice alternative would have been the inclusion of just a few more features, a second hose reel, and maybe a tiller cab at the back. This thing isn't perfect, but I'd say it's mostly good. Please share your thoughts about the set by leaving a comment on the video, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.